If you're looking to buy a Model 3 in 2020, chances are you've seen the different variants, the Standard Range Plus, the Long Range, and the Performance, and you've probably asked yourself, what's the real difference between the Standard Range Plus and the other models? Obviously, range is a big thing, but besides that, what are the little differences that really make those cars thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in difference between the Standard Range Plus and the Long Range, and certainly the Performance? Do you really lose that much? Is there really that much that you're missing in the car? Not too much, actually. So in this video, I want to break down everything that is different here in 2020 between the Standard Range Plus and the other models, and give you a quick breakdown of exactly what you're going to get and what you're not going to get. So to kind of clarify a bit, if you've looked at any reviews or even on the Tesla website or spec sheets, you've probably seen this term partial premium and premium interior kind of thrown around and interchanged sometimes. And there is a difference there. So the Standard Range Plus has what Tesla calls the partial premium interior, which means obviously it's not the full premium interior and you aren't getting everything that you would get in that interior, some of which I will demonstrate and show you guys exactly on video what that is and what that isn't. But there was some verbiage kind of thrown around from Tesla in the early days that partial premium was going to be kind of a cloth finish, it was going to have a sunroof, it was going to be drastically different between the different trim levels, and what you were going to get in the Standard Range and Standard Range Plus was not going to be all that great. No leather options, no sunroof, like I said. It was just going to be more of a cost-effective, to put it nicely, level here of interior. But in fact, that's not the case. Tesla actually never made good on that promise to make a cloth finish, and they didn't remove the sunroof after all. So you are basically getting, for the most part, the same look of the interior. Still getting a leather finish. I believe it's now vegan leather on the seats, and I believe it's now vegan leather on the steering wheel as well. You're getting the same trim options. You've got the wood grain trim, or you've got the white trim option as well. Aesthetically speaking, most things are actually the same with these cars, but there are some differences. So the partial premium interior is reserved for the Standard Range and the Standard Range Plus, and the full premium interior, that is going to be in the Long Range and the Performance variant. This also is probably going to be the case for the Model Y as well, but I'll do a full breakdown video on that sometime soon. But just to clarify, that is the verbiage difference. Partial premium versus premium, you are missing some things. Okay, so what exactly are you missing? So I'm going to actually take the camera off of this little setup and kind of take you around the car and show you different aspects of things that you are missing. But let's first start with the exterior and the outside of the car. Alright, so starting with the exterior, there is no real way to tell you have a Standard Range Plus or a Long Range besides the badge on the back. Obviously, if you have a dual motor or a Long Range, you'd have a badge right there. Obviously, Performance has a Performance badge and you have the wheels. But if you're just kind of having the base aero wheels on your car, there is no real exterior difference to be able to differentiate between the two, specifically the Standard Range Plus and the Long Range, and even the Performance besides the badge and the wheels. I will say that you do not get here in 2020 fog lights on the Standard Range Plus. This is something that was on Standard Range Pluses for a while. My car in particular does include it, which is kind of cool, but you do not have that option here in 2020. I believe they took that away in the end of 2019. So that is something to keep in mind. No longer on the Standard Range Plus. All right, so another difference is under the hood, or in this case, I guess under or inside the frunk here. There is no kind of padding or material here in the frunk. It is basically just the bare plastic shell. So if you're concerned about things spilling or something scratching or scraping up the inside of this frunk here, you do not have any kind of protective mat or anything in the Standard Range Plus. You're going to have to go third party. I will link some options down below if you want to protect this area here. You do get it in the higher end trims, but that's something you do not get here in the Standard Range Plus. Also, as far as I know, these little clips, these for they're for like shopping bags and stuff, for groceries, I don't believe this is included in any of the Model 3s here in 2020. They are in 2019 variants, so if you're going to pick up a used Tesla, something to keep in mind. If I'm wrong, I will put a correction on screen, but as far as I know, this is not here in 2020. There's another difference here in back to also take note of. It's with this material here. It's kind of this like the soft touch, not so much cloth, but just kind of basically the basic material that comes from the back of the seat is here. There is no protective lining, no kind of protective material here in the trunk of the Model 3 Standard Range Plus. I'm not sure if there's one for the long range or performance, but I know in my Standard Range Plus there is no protective lining. I will show you that you do get the wall connector kits. If you want to connect to a regular old 120 volt outlet at home, you can do that, and you also get this J1772 adapter. So if you want to use something like ChargePoint or EVgo, this will basically be your adapter to go from that to Tesla's own adapter here. You're not getting the NEMA 1450 adapter. I do not believe they give that with any of the cars anymore. They may with the performance. I'm not sure. I don't believe so. So just so you know, this is not a trim level thing. This is what you're going to get with the car. You're not going to get any kind of special extras or the NEMA 1450. You're just kind of getting this basic package with no kind of protective lining here in the back of the trunk. If you're worried about scraping up anything back here, again, you're going to want to go third party. Speaking of protective coverings and mats, you aren't getting any kind of floor mat in the Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Again, you're just kind of getting this soft kind of cloth material. If I take up the floor mat I have, this is all you get. You do not get any kind of floor mat in the Standard Range Plus. You do get Tesla floor mats in the long range and performance variants, but you're gonna have to go aftermarket for this, both for the passenger, the driver, and even in the back. There is no floor mats with the car, so you are going to have to get your own. Something to keep in mind. Also, the performance pedals look super cool. They come with the performance variant of the Model 3. They do not come with the long range or the Standard Range Plus. You basically just get the black basic stock looking pedals. If you want to pick up those, they're like super cheap. I think they're like 15 bucks on Amazon. I'll link to them down below. They kind of help with the aesthetic of the car. I think they look super cool. All right. The speakers. This is something that everybody comments on. There's so many questions and theories and comments about this, and I wish I knew the definitive answer, but I don't. But I will tell you this. There is a hardware difference, and from what many people say, an experiential difference between the sound in the Standard Range Plus with the partial premium interior than what you're getting with the full premium interior in those higher end cars. From what I understand, you're missing some amplifiers and you're missing a subwoofer. So if you like a lot of bass with your music, or you basically want a full immersive experience with audio, you're going to get objectively a better audio experience in the higher end car, just because you have all those speakers active and you have the option to obviously you have it built in the subwoofer, and you basically have all the hardware needed to make it an amazing software or audio experience in combination with the software. And from what I know and what I've heard, it's supposed to be really great. My 2 cents, it's not a huge deal for me. I have a full video coming soon comparing the two. I'm actually going to do a side-by-side with this car and a long range to kind of show the difference between the audio systems. But I will say that the Standard Range Plus only has a few speakers active. So from what I understand, you have speakers here and in the A-pillars over there that are not active. It seems like there's some conflicting reports that they're wired in, but they are not active and you're not getting audio out of them. The main source of audio in the Model 3 is coming from the speaker in the front, kind of near the front windshield, in front of you as the driver and the passenger. And then there are speakers in the doors for the driver's side and passenger side as well that basically provide all your bass and all your real audio. So you don't really have any full-blown speaker systems in here, and you're missing a lot of the audio that really makes the full premium interior great from the back. So there are speakers in the back that just aren't hooked up. As far as I know, the hardware is there, but the cables are not run. So there have been rumors that maybe Tesla would offer this as a software upgrade. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Maybe there will be some kind of retrofit process where you could go into Tesla, like you're swapping a hardware 2.5 for a hardware 3 computer or a new MCU. Maybe Tesla could hook up these speakers for you. That would be amazing, and I'd pay for that in a heartbeat. But until now, you do not have that option. There are third-party aftermarket places you can go and they can run the cables and hook it up for you. There are even videos online if you want to crack open the doors and run the cable yourself. You can do that. I probably wouldn't recommend that. But yes, there is a big difference with the speakers. That's probably the biggest difference in these cars is the audio system. If you are an audiophile, you really enjoy listening to music and you want the best possible experience, I would probably tell you to go to the longer range or the performance model, or at least sit in it in a store and listen to the difference, do a test drive, and then also do the same for the Standard Range Plus. It's not a bad system by any means. I'm perfectly happy with it. But again, I'm not an audiophile. I don't listen to a bunch of music all the time. And you're obviously missing the subwoofer. It is substantial. You do not have any kind of subwoofer or amplifier to power those rear speakers. So something to keep in mind for sure. Again, full video coming soon to kind of showcase the difference. But definitely a big deal for many, and one of the biggest differences between the partial premium and full premium interior. So one big clarification here is with the software. If you were to watch a video like this a year ago, there were lots of differences between the two trim levels, and the full premium interior had a lot that the Standard Range Plus and with the partial premium interior just couldn't do. You couldn't stream music over LTE. You certainly couldn't watch YouTube videos. There was no live traffic or satellite maps. That has now changed thanks to version 10, and the cars are a lot more complete and a lot closer in terms of software than they ever were before. Essentially, the software version in the Standard Range Plus, in the partial premium, and all the cars on the full premium interior are very, very similar, basically the same. You can do essentially everything you can on the Standard Range Plus that you could on a long range or performance Model 3. But there is a difference in terms of connectivity. So your car has a built-in LTE connection, and Tesla was not charging for this use of connection for a long time, but they recently have with something they're calling a premium connectivity fee. So premium connectivity is basically the fee to use your car's data connection to stream things like music, satellite maps, YouTube videos, etc. I have a full video that I'll link to up here that explains exactly what you get with premium connectivity. And I have a video actually coming soon on whether or not premium connectivity is worth it. But all I will say for this is that there is a difference in terms of price. So if you were to buy a long range or performance Model 3 with the full premium interior, you get a year for free of premium connectivity. So you do not have to pay $10 a month. You basically get it free for a year and you're good to go. If you buy a Standard Range Plus, you get 30 days for free. But after that, if you want to use music streaming, you want satellite maps, you want to stream YouTube videos, you want live traffic, you're going to have to pay $10 a month for it. I don't know, spoiler alert, I kind of think it's worth it. You do get a lot for it, and there is no contract, so you can basically have it month to month. You want to pay for 1 month and not another, you have that option. It is flexible in that case, and it's $10 a month. A little annoying that obviously you have to pay extra for that. But in my case, my car didn't have any of these features a year ago, so paying $10 a month to basically unlock all these cool features with software is something I'm willing to do. But more on that in a later video. But basically, know that there is a premium connectivity difference. It's a year free for the higher end cars. In the Standard Range Plus, there is only a 30-day free trial window, and then you're gonna have to pony up $10 a month if you want access to all those features. Another difference in the interior is in terms of heated seats. So both cars have the passenger and driver seats fully controlled to be heated. So if you want to heat those seats for yourself or the passenger, you can do that. But there was some differences with the Standard Range Plus and the other models. So with the long range of performance variants with that full premium interior, you have full control of the back seat. So you can heat all 3 of the seats in the second row right back there. On the Standard Range Plus, you did not have this option until very recently. We knew the hardware was there, and in some instances, it's kind of seemed like a fluke. People had that option until Tesla turned it off, but now it is official. You have the option to buy in the Standard Range Plus an option to get rear heated seats, basically unlock that hardware to turn on those controls to heat the rear seats. You have full access to all 3 of the seats in the back, just like you would on the long range or performance models. You have to pay $300 for that. You can do that in the app. You basically go to the little upgrades panel there, things you can buy, and you can go ahead and pay the $300 and unlock that feature, and it should turn on your car relatively quickly. Something new in 2020, or at least the past 9 months, is the removal of something called HomeLink. You used to have this option basically built in to the long range and performance Model 3s. It was this little HomeLink sensor, basically allowed you to automatically unlock, I guess open rather, your garage door and close your garage door where you left. It's all based on GPS. It's super cool. This is no longer included in the performance or long range Model 3s. It was not an option at all with the Standard Range Plus, but it now is for all variants because Tesla removed it from the cars. So not exactly new for 2020, but if you're buying a car this year and kind of looking at the different specs of older cars or maybe a used Model 3, I believe it was before, sometime in the summer of 2019, they stopped giving HomeLink as a built-in feature in the cars, but it is an option if you want to purchase it from Tesla directly. I believe it's $300 to $500. I'll have it up on screen. You can add this to your long-range car, your performance, or you can even also add it to the Standard Range Plus. It's an option now. Tesla just installs this for you, not built in anymore. That is a little difference, but something important to note here in 2020. HomeLink, that used to be a difference maker between the cars, is no longer a difference because it's not built into any of them. All right, so that is basically it. Those are the biggest differences between the Standard Range Plus and the other models here in 2020. Here is what you're going to get, and here is exactly what you're not going to get. I have had a blast making these videos. If you guys have any questions, if you're contemplating buying a Standard Range Plus, you have questions on how this car performs or holds up over a long period of time. I've had this for almost 9 months, I want to say now. Man, it's almost a year. It'll be a year in May. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys want to know more about with the Standard Range Plus, and I'd be happy to answer any additional questions as well. Thank you guys so much. As always, I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you in the next one.